Waters family. Drew here. I just wanted to come and share a few things with you guys. So this last week, last couple of days, I really hit this low, this moment where the weight of all of this and the reality of all this kind of began to settle in a little bit more deeply. I think that a lot of us, when we face transition, when we face trial, when we face change, we can put on a brave face and we can start plowing through, and we can generally feel some of the stuff about the deepness and the heaviness of it. But I think that we all come to a spot where maybe the weight hits more than others. And for me, it was just honestly just yesterday. Just feeling overwhelming sense of sadness and frustration and anger and just all the things, all the mixed bag things that come with this. And honestly, what I'm experiencing and what a lot of you are experiencing in just these low level emotions, even if as they peak, is grief. You know, it might be weird to say. Some of us haven't lost a loved one yet. We haven't lost a job necessarily, but we're all dealing with a great deal of loss. The loss of normal, the loss of close contact with people, the loss of friendship or the context of friendship that we've been used to, the loss of stability, the loss of certainty. We're all dealing with loss. And what I've learned over the years about grief and about loss and all the emotions that come with it is that you have to actually process it. You have to actually feel it and let it rest, let it settle. And you don't deal with grief by ignoring it. You deal with it by embracing it, by stepping into it. So yesterday, not quite realizing I was experiencing grief, I was moody and down and frustrated and kind of at the end of my rope. And two things helped immensely. The first thing is my wife, my wonderful wife, Suzanne, as many of you know and love, she looked at me and she said, you need to go. Like, you need to go on a walk. You need to go spend some time with Jesus and just walk and process and feel and surrender your feelings to Jesus. And so I did. I took my dog and I got out and I walked for almost an hour. And most of that time I was just crying before the Lord. Not dramatically, not loudly, I wasn't being a spectacle, but I was just allowing my feelings to come to the surface and be acknowledged and to share them with Jesus, to share the frustration, to share the sadness, to share just all of it. And by the end of the walk, nothing was different circumstantially, but I felt met by the Lord. I felt lighter and heard and able to process and move forward. There's so many good things about acknowledging our feelings. There's so many physical benefits to allowing ourselves to cry if we need to. It just was an enormous amount of help. And the second thing that I did is I reached out. So, of course, in this season, it's not as easy reaching out. It's not as immediate sometimes, but I reached out. I sent a text to Ryan and Andy, and I was just like, hey guys, having a rough time, just sort of shared kind of the state that I was in. And within a few minutes, they both messaged me back. And one of the beautiful things about reaching out, and one of the most important things, is even though we all cognitively maybe know we're all going through this, when we get stuck in a place of grief, it can feel so isolating and so alone and so different than everybody else. And just being able to acknowledge to some of my dearest friends, I'm struggling and here's the reasons why. And to have them send back messages of yeah, we are too. And acknowledge the feelings that I'm having and say, we're with you. And here's what we know. And just encourage, but also that beautiful thing called consolation. It's where you're together in this and you console each other with the reality of our circumstances. So I share this today because I know that I'm not the only person dealing with these feelings. And I know that for some of us, reaching out might be very difficult, or we might not know where to, or maybe we don't have those friendships in place that we feel like we can go to an honest place. So first things first, we always have our friend in Jesus. So I want to encourage everyone, take and give the space and time to go with your emotions to the Lord. If it's a walk, if it's, just sitting by yourself in your house with a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you need to do to get the space you need to sit down with Jesus and to acknowledge the feelings, I encourage you to do that. The second thing is reaching out to others. Now, if you have a good friend, if you have, if your spouse is someone that you can do this with, obviously, sometimes when you're cooped up with everybody, you need an outside perspective. So I encourage you to reach out. If you are finding yourselves in the need for more help, as we've said in previous newsletters and videos, our soul care team is ready and able to meet with you over Zoom or Skype or phone or FaceTime or Google Hangouts and be there to hear you and pray with you. This is a season none of us have faced before, and we're not going to do this alone. So if you're needing help, if you're needing support, I encourage you now, go to lwrv.org and click on the Soul Care tab. And we'd love to be with you and walk with you in this. We don't have answers. We don't have the magic bullet, but what we do have is consolation. We have connection with the Lord, and we have the fellowship of walking through this together. So I love you all. I hope you're doing okay. Bless you as we walk through this season. Please reach out.